American women and Western women are out of control. Their behavior in public is amazingly tolerated by everybody, including other women, which really borderline harassment, bullying based on narcissistic behavior, and a lot of time violence. I have shown you guys many videos where women are just getting violent like men, and men are usually sitting and doing nothing. They are just observing, they're being bullied, and not that anyone's surprised anymore. American men are soft. American men have conceded to being second class citizens, to be bullied and abused. And, a lot of people ask, well, why men like me become passport bros? I live in Thailand, by the way. I'm streaming live from Bangkok, my new home, for more than 2 years now. And a lot of you assume that we come here for traditional women with family values who are soft-spoken and submissive and kind and feminine, and we do. We got that. You guys are out of stock in America, and really that model has been discontinued, but we still have them here. But I don't think you guys realize that one of the biggest perks of being a passport bro and living abroad, away from America, away from Western countries, is being away from modern, entitled, aggressive women who are no longer really women anymore. And we're not talking about, by the way, I know most of the time when we talk on this channel about women, we talk about women um, in the context of dating, right? In the context of sex and so forth. This video has nothing to do with that. This is just regular life amongst American women. And by the way, the number of false accusations is through the roof. All a woman has to do now is to accuse a man for whatever. There doesn't have to be any evidence of anything, and that can ruin a man's life, and it has. I've done many videos where celebrities or athletes have been falsely accused, and many years down the road we realized that finally evidence came out that not only these women, falsely accused them. They did it on purpose. They did it specifically to either get money out of this man or get revenge. And there are absolutely no laws. And this is why I want my channel to become, as popular as it can be, because I want to create a coalition of other men who would like to fight for some new laws to be passed. For example, if a woman falsely accuses a man of anything, uh, on purpose, then there should be at least a mandatory 5-year sentence to go to prison. No judge can override that. Now, today I'm going to react to this video that I found. Honestly, I don't even know where it was taped. I didn't even look at the date. It doesn't really matter. Of this American woman essentially bullying the entire plane, men, women, everybody. So we're going to go like literally second by second, because this is not a long video, but it's packed with almost everything that's wrong. Everything that's wrong with American society when it comes to gender roles. Now, one of the viewers in the chat says Texas passes child support at conception law. I don't even know what the hell that is. I cannot imagine that. If that's true, um, before you can get a DNA test, yeah. I literally have. If you go to my TikTok channel, I literally have my video pinned, though it's posted on all social media. um, 10 anti-men laws, or the absence of them, that needs to change in America if men want to become equal to women again. And that's why there's such a term as men's rights activists. And Paul Elam, by the way, if you've never heard of him, he is probably the most prominent men's rights activist who's been around for a while. I've interviewed him, and there's 3 parts that I've already posted on my channel. So if you're interested about me and Paul talking about men's rights, you can check it out. But today, let's talk about this. Let's talk about how this woman has essentially bullied the entire plane by being uh, entitled American woman, and how nobody's done shit about it. Okay, so let's watch it like almost frame by frame. Ready? Let's go.
Shut your
I
mouth.
want to wait for the people in front of me to get up. That's how we do it.
Oh my God.
All right, so right away, she's essentially already telling a man to shut the hell up. Right now, it's not. I wish the camera was rolling a bit earlier, but it looks like that she, when they're on a plane, when the plane landed and docked to the terminal, she was one of those horrible human beings to get up, get their shit, and try to bulldoze her way through the aisle to get to the exit faster. Now, just in case if you've never been on a plane, the etiquette is to wait for people in front of you to get out, and then because that's what's fair, right? That's what's with all of them. Now, airplanes, I've noticed, as somebody who travels a lot, I've noticed that airplanes, specifically economy class, is where people act their worst in regular times. Like, I'm not talking about war, okay? Regular times, because people do this all the time. Now, if a man does that, there's another man to push him the fuck back, right? And there's going to be some. But when women do this, nobody says shit. Now, I got to tell you, this does not happen on airplanes that you fly in the Middle East or Southeast Asia. First, because there are men on these planes and they will absolutely push someone like that back. And secondly, because, in America, oh, we can't touch a woman. We can't. No, yes, you can. Yes, you can. There are times when you can do it, you know, including self-defense, by the way. So that just wouldn't happen on planes here. If you take a plane from Bangkok to Manila, this ain't gonna. First of all, this is not gonna fly. But women here are not raised to be bullies. Women here still kind of know their gender roles, and men do too, right? If someone's not behaving well, there's usually some men who will push back. As you can see, that man is kind of like almost begging her to listen to him, right? Now, again, this shitty behavior is not just limited to women, right? Men act this way too, but don't forget, when men act this way, there is a pushback. There is some sort of a pushback. It's interesting, I've been going to mixers for foreigners here, like meetups and stuff like that. Not because I want to see more foreigners and run into more Western women. Well, actually, that's exactly why. I just don't interact with Western women at all on my daily basis, because that's the wonderful life that I live. So for me to be able to even relate to you guys as I review videos like this, I need to come across Western women, and that's what I've been doing, like on Friday nights, like last night, and on Saturday nights. And it's interesting that I think it was last week when I was talking to two people. One was a Thai man and another one was a Western woman, or I think she was very Westernized Thai woman, which is again exactly the same, almost exactly the same thing. And I was talking about the situation uh, where a woman told me the day before, because I went to another Western mixer. It was a birthday. It was a birthday party, so I couldn't really say anything back. But a Western girl kind of told me to shut the fuck up, called me a bitch. Normally something that you would never hear, from a woman. But also you can also exercise some self-defense in that situation, right? But I couldn't because it was my friend's birthday, and I was telling that story, and I said, well, I, I said, if a m- I said, I don't take the type of disrespect, especially from women. And of course, the Westernized Thai woman said, well, what do you mean, especially for women? I said, well, let me tell you what I mean, especially for women. If you don't still fucking know in this age, um, when a woman tells you to, curses you out or attacks you verbally, right? She knows she's protected because I'm not going to go and punch her in the face. Um, but when a man insults me, right, another man, that man kind of knows that, you insult another man, there's a good chance someone's going to punch you in your nose immediately, right? So that's why this entitlement comes in cultures where women are, essentially encouraged to be bullies, encouraged to be entitled. In, despite what women have made a lot of men believe in America, calling them narcissists, a lot of women are narcissists in American and Western societies. They've done an excellent job hiding it by turning it around, calling men narcissists. But the men that they call narcissists, and I've made videos about it, are men who are actually trying to push back and make women take responsibilities for their own actions and words. But the best way to attack that is to essentially call a man something that he is essentially trying to handle in you, right? Genius plan. And it's working, by the way, because again, men don't push back. All right, let's continue and see what happens next.
God, you're all whiny for no reason.
Where you going? Let the people go.
Right? So here's another man
People go.
who is trying to reason with her, right? And it looks like everyone's on the same page that she's done something wrong. She's kind of bulldozed her way through, and people didn't like it because they shouldn't, right? And here are at least two men trying to politely point it out. Now, she is bullying them around quite successfully. Now, you know who's sitting there quietly and minding her own fucking business? Is the Asian woman over there, right? That's the type of women I'm here for, right? Mind their own business, quiet, polite, don't get into arguments. That's what I'm here for. Oh, you guys have no idea how amazing the life is with women like this one, right? She wants nothing to do with that argument. She knows that the bully girl, is wrong, but she's not going to point it out. She's just going to let it go. She would never behave that herself that way. And that's, you guys, you have to come and visit. By the way, I live in Thailand, but most of the old school countries in Southeast Asia, in Asia in general, South America, just these women just don't know even how to behave this way.
I hope
Get up the way you want to. Okay?
Okay, so all right. So this guy, oh man. And this is the thing. You can see it on his face what he really wants to do, but he can't, right? Because the camera is rolling. And the thing is, if any of these men actually do what they want to do, which, in my case, I would actually get up, right? If a woman is bullying me, I'm going to get up. If a man's bullying me, I'm going to get up, right? My reaction is going to be like, don't get in my face. Don't get in my face, because I have no problems defending myself if I have to, whether you're a man or a woman. And that's the attitude we need to have. But here's the problem, right? If he does anything that is remotely, inappropriate or too aggressive, this whole video is going to be about him, right? Because that happens all the time in America. When a woman initiates some sort of an argument or problem, and a lot of times in domestic violence cases, it's the woman who initiates the contact. It's the woman who is aggressor. But if a man stands up to that, right, all of a sudden he is the bad guy, right? How many times a woman attacked a man in their own home? A man tried to defend himself, not even attack her back, they just hold her back, and by doing that bruised her, right? Just by even holding her back. I personally know those cases. And then the police show up, and of course, who's got the bruises? She does. Of course, he's the aggressor. We're going to arrest the victim, essentially, right? So none of these men have balls, because why? Because they have jobs, right? If this video goes viral, and they're going to get fired because they're the aggressors, even though, without touching her, right? So that's the problem, is they can't do anything, and they're not. This is not the appropriate reaction to this type of bullying. I would suggest that men should get up and get on her way and not let her bully her way through the airplane any further. To me, that would be the appropriate reaction. But you can't do that in America, right? Because holding a woman responsible for her actions or words is not okay there. It's not okay, right, guys?
You're just a Karen, and that's just the way it is.
Just deal with it, people. My God. What?
Yeah, so this is gaslighting, right? And this is what modern women, American women are so good at this, right? Like, she's now explaining to them that it's their problem. They're being whiny babies. They're the ones who have a problem, not her, and they need to deal with her, right? And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna be good little boys, and do just that. They're just gonna have to deal with it, right? So it is. And then by the way, she's just flat out insulting them at this, right? You shut up, right? Again, like, it's so funny to me because I cannot imagine like a Thai girl behaving this way. It's just not, it's just not. Now, let's point out that obviously she is a single woman on top of that, right? Like, this is the new level of the entitlement and just being a shitty human being, especially on top of being an American girl. She's also a single American girl. Like, the pent up, anger and frustration, because who can live with that, right? Imagine that on daily basis. Imagine waking up to that. So on top of that, it is a single American woman.
Why don't you all shut up? It's not affecting any of you. No, but you're standing in the
Right? So now she's literally bullying the entire plane. And by the way, no one's preventing them, verbally attacking her back, and no one is. All right, now he is behaving not very manly. Right now, he's just kind of trying to like call her a name or whatever. That's not gonna fly because she can take it. They can't. The men on a plane can't, but she can absolutely take it, and she does.
so funny. You're the Karens about it because you're
Yeah, this is the good one, right? Like, this is how women just do it, and they're geniuses about it. Look, he called her Karen because she's a Karen, right? But immediately she goes, no, 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 you're a Karen, right? No, you're the narcissist, right? And like I said, if any of these men would have gotten up and done something about it, they would be the attackers and she would be a victim, right? American women are so good at it. And you know why? Because men allowed them to do it. Men allowed them to do it. And this is why you guys have to live in this type of society. And by the way, I've talked about this example many times. When I see a Western woman here once in a while, I never open the door for her, even though I am a gentleman. Never, ever, ever, because most of them are this, right? And most of the time, if you open a door for a Western woman, she will just walk through, not notice you as a human being, obviously not saying thank you. Now, I encourage all men who make a mistake of doing that to immediately call that girl a bitch or a cunt or whatever. Your choice, right? Call these women out in public for their shitty entitled behavior. But here in Southeast Asia, when you open a door for a woman, it is a pleasure because she will give you so much feminine energy back for giving her the masculine energy. It will make your day. Right here, it will be like this. Thank you for opening the door for me. It is so amazing. And you guys cannot experience it anymore. And this is why I encourage, all men to get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of America. Forget about having an amazing access to amazing women here. Forget about your sex life being better. Forget about, your health care being better. Forget about, not having to worry about crime and all that. Just forget about all that. Just being away from modern American and Western women in general is just such a fucking pleasure. Now, don't do it the wrong way. This is why I have my, if you go to the millionmanproject.com, this is where I outline how average Joe in America can actually get up, leave, and go to another country of his choice and actually have an amazing life. A lot of you guys go like, well, no, that's a really, I know it's not the easiest process in the world. If you do it wrong, you will definitely get yourself in trouble with women, with many other things, with money, finances, and stuff like that. But if you just follow it, I spent 3 months putting together the most comprehensive guide on how to essentially become a passport bro. And you don't even have to become a passport bro, right? If you just want a better life at this point and away from Western women, which again, I cannot emphasize what a pleasure that is, go and check it out.
you're the ones who are making noise. Nobody's bothering you. It's not even in your. I'm sorry. Do you have my permission to?
Right. Also, well, before we get that, she's basically
Sorry,
telling
do you
him
have my
like he's a little boy. She's talking to him like he's a little boy. Just basically, he's not allowed to talk. He cannot have an opinion. Right. So this is another very good strategy that women have employed. Is that they're basically saying, well, when we behave entitled and we behave like shitty human beings, you cannot comment on this. You cannot have an opinion. You cannot call me out. This is literally exactly what she is saying, right? Well, it's not really concerning you, right? Because you know, that guy could have just been quiet, right? Now, kudos to those couple of people who really actually said something, right? You have to make it uncomfortable for these women. You have to make them very uncomfortable. And I suggest this is not good enough, right? Like, I believe some men should have just gotten up in her face and said, let's talk now, right? But none of them are going to do that because, like, again, they're either spineless pussies, which a lot of American men are, or they're just afraid to lose their jobs. Because if this video makes it to their HR department, guess who's going to be the head of the HR? A woman like this, right? We've all seen the Coldplay kiss cam uh clusterfuck, right? Where the woman who is committing, and this is this is another amazing thing about American women, they're really good at hypocrisy, right? That woman on that kiss cam, she was the head of HR. Her literally entire job was to prevent shit like this from happening, and yet she is part of the problem. So this is the type of a woman who will be in charge of the HR department. If this video and if men actually get up, right, and prevent this, they will probably get fired by someone like her.
Permission to record me?
It's public.
Right. Right. So now she said, well, do you have a permission to film me? Now, of course, this is considered to be a public space. You can film. Now, by the way, even in some private spaces, right? For example, you can film. You just cannot publish it, right? Now, make a note of it because it's going to be funny that she even said that. Because immediately, right, the response was, we're in a public place. Like, how do you not know that? And immediately her reply is to verbally to attack him, right? She said something stupid, even though she probably knew. Somebody told her that she was wrong and why. And the reaction is never anything that has any logic behind it, the reasoning behind it, right? She literally told him to shut the fuck up. Now, at this point, a barrage of verbal abuse should be coming her way, right? Like, if somebody tells me this, then I am going to attack them back, right? But none of these guys are going to do it. I don't know if I should call it. None of these boys were going to do it, right? Because what are they like? Because why?
Fuck off.
Oh, F-bombs.
Yep. Because you've never said one. I can tell you have. Oh, yes, I can. Given your accent, I can tell you've said the F-bomb.
Right. Now she is basically saying, given your accent, I know you curse. Right now, I don't know if that's the best insult in the world. I also don't know why she's so stupid, knowing that the camera is running, and now she's making sort of a ethnical or racial comment, right? Like, listen, how do you not know that this may end up badly for you? By the way, if this video made it to her job's HR department, she would probably get a lot of leniency, but that comment probably would get her fired, even if it's the same girl sitting in that HR department manager's chair, right? Okay, so now she's escalating, and now she insulted that guy. Like I said, I don't like. This is definitely a racial comment, right? Is it a racist comment? No, but it's definitely now racially charged comment, right?
We're not doing that. You can be a jerk. No, you're not going to insult someone because of an accent. We're not doing that.
Look who is standing up. Look who is standing up, a woman, right? Now, I still think she should also not get in here, right? I just don't think women should be argumentative bullies, even though the girl in pink is on the right side, right? And she's the only one who literally had the balls to stand up to the bully, right? And again, if I was in that situation, I would physically stand up. I'm not a big guy, you know what I mean? I'm not a big guy, but I would still make her feel my presence, right? If you're gonna bully, the entire plane, you're gonna have some resistance. Not on this plane, and the only resistance that came from a woman, right? Again, the woman in pink only shows us once again the only the only people on this plane with balls and testosterone are the women, right? And this is kind of the whole point why I'm showing you guys this video. And now she's standing up for the guy who should have been standing up for himself after the racially charged comment, right?
Okay?
This is a low IQ human being.
Yeah, it is.
You ain't gonna change this.
I love when they say ain't and they talk about low IQ.
I use AIDS and I'm in a doctoral program. So
Oh, wow, that's a big deal. I'm a lawyer and I don't say ain't.
Now I don't know, like, again, these attacks are not even really well crafted, and I think because they don't have to be, right? Like, saying somebody saying ain't, in a very casual setting, it does not really, I think, go to their educational background at all. But now she said she's a lawyer, right? Now remember, only a few moments later she said, are you allowed to film in public? Okay, so she's, let's just say she's a lawyer. She looks like one, right? She definitely, if I expect a certain profession, female profession, to make a woman into this bully, that would be a lawyer, right? uh Now, any lawyer obviously knows that filming in public is allowed, and what's public, and like, this is why I said earlier that she knew that she was gaslighting everybody. And as soon as somebody pointed out, which was almost immediately, her reply was, you shut the fuck up, right? But gaslighting is one of the best talents of American and Western women.
Really racist. Oh my God, do you even know what the word racist means?
Right. So I got to tell you, this is one tiny second when I am on her side, right? Because now she's being called a racist. Then she says, well, do you know what the racist means, right? Now, she did made a racially charged comment, right? But it doesn't make her a racist, because she didn't really accuse that guy of anything that's really that bad, right? Oh, you used, F words because of your accent. By the way, I don't even know if that accent of that guy is in a different American accent, or if it's like a different ethnicity accent. So I actually don't even know. But let's say it's a different ethnicity, just for the sake of this argument. It does not make her racist, right? She's a bully. She's a hypocrite. She's a lot of bad things, right? She's a lot of bad things. But one of the things she's not is racist. And tagging that on is unfair, right? And this is why the other side a lot of times loses these arguments, is because, it's also a very lazy way to have an argument, right? Just, oh, as soon as a white person says anything negative about anybody who's not white, or a lot of times a man, you're racist, and of course sexist if you're a man. So I am not cool with that. So I just want to be fair here.
Wait, you're white. Because that's racist. Maybe xenophobic if you're talking about accents. Maybe get the vocabulary right. Right when we get off this plane, I'll meet you out there with my bar card.
I'll meet you out there with my bar card after that video goes viral. So she realizes that this is being taped and it can't go viral. And yet she's still behaving this way. Why? Because consequences for actions for women really are not there. Because men are not going to get, step up. And women, obviously, again, who are in charge of HR departments, are not going to do much about it. Though I got to tell you, after that comment and with the video going viral, there's a possibility that something might happen, especially if she works for a law firm or whatever, but not very likely.
After that video goes viral, you'll lose that too. Sure.
Yeah. So okay, actually, so as somebody else is saying that, and they're right, right? So can she lose her license to practice law? I don't think so, because of that comment, right? And I don't think she should, just in general, to be fair. And okay, so listen, this is the entire video, and it's probably gone for way too long. I just saw it the other day. I don't remember when it was filmed or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But this is just an indication why I left America. This is indication why my life is just so much better. And like I said, last night I went out to an event where there was some Western and Westernized women, and tonight I'm going to 3. And again, a lot of times I don't really enjoy them that much, even though I go with some friends. But it is to still remember the pain that I felt in America, as I felt like a second-class citizen, as I felt a lot of times that a lot of men would get bullied by women and couldn't do anything because they would be afraid of losing their jobs. They would be afraid of being called names, and that's how you guys live. And so what is the solution for this? Unless you enjoy this, right? Unless you enjoy women doing this at expense of pretty much everybody else, but specifically men, and men not wanting, not being taught to even do anything about it, because a lot of these men were raised by women like that, right? Single mothers, who are essentially men inside their heads, right? Um, and and men don't even know they can stand up to this type of behavior and not allow it. Now, of course, generally culture has allowed this. Why aren't Thai women outside of my window here in Bangkok behave this way, right? They technically could, but they don't. If you've ever been on a plane that flies from one part of Asia to another part of the Asia, this fucking shit doesn't happen. You know, it just doesn't happen. People have morals here. They have respect for one another. They have manners, and everybody wants what's fair for everybody. I think I keep telling you guys about this, what I experience almost on daily basis. Because I work out of a coffee shop in the middle of a busy mall, and I have my computer. I actually just upgraded my computer, spent some money, it's brand new and everything. I leave my jewelry on the table where I work and some other stuff, my glasses. I leave my bag with all kinds of stuff, including money, and I'll go to the bathroom. I'll go and get something to eat. I'll go get a haircut, and I'll come back like in half an hour and my shit is going to be there. 100% guarantee. There are literally videos of influencers who come here or live here in Thailand, and they constantly, when they come across, I probably should do the same thing, is you'd be walking around in the park or the mall or whatever, the coffee shop, and there will be just someone's stuff lying around. Like, would be a backpack, there will be an iPad, there will be a bunch of stuff and lunch or whatever. Like, this person probably just went to take a walk or whatever, with 100% confidence that no one's going to come out and steal their iPads, even though people earn so much less than people in America, right? But because the culture here of just respecting other people's shit, respecting other people's not just property but lives, and it's just it's impossible. Um, so you know, I man, I don't know, like, if you've never been to a non Western country, right? Southeast Asia, Asia, South America, guys. I think it's a must. Now, it's part of my course here at the millionmanproject.com. Um, but to just go and just see what happens. Now, there will be a lot of wonderful things happening to you, right? First of all, you'll find out how just kind and amazing and respectful people are. Your dating apps will all of a sudden getting full of likes from women who actually want you, because they know what a good man is. um, there will be just a lot of wonderful things happening to you. You should come here. I mean, I think Thailand is the best country in the world, but you can go to many other countries and just for a couple of weeks just see how different the life here is, how feminine and wonderful and respectful women are, how respectful people are in general to you. From what I remember in America, this type of behavior from women, I would observe it almost on daily basis. And even when I'm here I'm sitting in a coffee shop, or I go to a place where, there are a bunch of foreigners, and I hear how Western women just the voices, just the entitled, loud, demanding voices, how they even talk to each other with them, right? While covered in tattoos and fucking nose rings and stuff like that, essentially red flags everywhere. Or how Western or westernized Thai women talk to their sort of husbands and boyfriends, and those guys take it, which is absolutely amazing. I got to tell you a story, a very interesting story. Now, you've probably seen many videos that I made about how Westerners come here, Western men, hoping to become passport bros, but they are still simps and spineless losers, and they have no self-respect. They don't know how to draw boundaries, and they end up dating the worst type of Thai women here, because it's not like Thai women are all amazing. We have westernized, horrible women here too, hoes and all of that stuff, right? So last night I meet this guy at the mixer, and he's been here for 8 months, and he brought his girlfriend with him. And I'm like, oh, you have a girlfriend within 8 months? He's like, yeah. I said, oh man, I make videos specifically for guys like you. He's like, yeah, really? What do you mean? I was like, if you end up in a relationship here within a year, even, you're gonna regret it big time. because you just don't know the culture. You don't know, I said, just generally speaking, you'll realize that dating an English speaking girl with tattoos or whatever, like, it's a big no. And I can see his girlfriend is definitely westernized, tattooed hoe. On top of that, she's drinking and smoking on top of that, right? So I'm trying to like just poke him a little bit without like being too rude, right? And I said, well, and he starts telling me how, no, like, that the good women are all in provinces. You shouldn't really meet one in like bars here. I'm like, okay, well, where did you meet your girlfriend? He was like, here. I'm like, wow, like, this guy knows that he shouldn't be doing this, and he's still doing it. And it is an amazing thing. Like, guys will come here and pick up the worst fucking women, right? I mean, by the way, she was really rude and not polite, which is, again, why do you come here when you have access to this amazing, feminine, polite, women, and you pick the worst fucking hoes that behave the most ratchet behavior? Like, again, for a woman to drink and smoke and have tattoos and like, that is beyond unacceptable in any old school culture. And this guy came here and snatched one up. So I said, dude, like, listen, I don't mean no like disrespect, but when this doesn't work out, like, do you mind giving me an interview after that? And I thought he would get offended because I'm essentially saying that his relationship is going to crash and burn, which it absolutely will. But he took my number down, and even today he actually asked me to watch one of my video with like my channel. I'm like, whoa, can I red pill this guy? So I sent him the video that I live streamed a couple of weeks ago, where I did a reaction to a guy who lived here for 7 years and who did everything wrong with women. Essentially what that guy was doing wrong, the one that I met yesterday. So I'm hoping he watches that video, goes, oh shit, that's me, huh? But it is amazing. And this is why a big part of my course is actually how a Western man, American man, is just not ready to come here and date women, because most of you guys, and I'm sorry to tell you this, but you don't know this, but you don't have much of a self-respect, self-confidence. You don't know what a good woman is, what an amazing traditional woman can do for you, and the type of life you can have with her. You're used to disrespect and abuse, and the way you've adjusted was to become simps and just take the abuse, right? Just like those boys on that plane. But if you come to a society where gender roles are still gender roles, if some of you maybe remember, because in America we used to have that, it is a completely different life. It's such an enjoyment to get out of your place and go out there and interact with people, but specifically with women. And I don't even mean in a sexual way. I'm talking about just having amazing feminine energy around, just buying food from a female vendor, right? Just the way she talks, the way she's dressed, the way she says thank you, the way she essentially makes sure you're fed is a whole different world that, again, men my age, I'm almost 50, still remember how it used to be in America. But a lot of you guys, especially younger guys, you guys don't even remember what it's like to get feminine energy from women. There's more feminine energy coming from men, to be honestly, even on that plane, right? The way they reasoned with her was more of a feminine, let's all come down and live in peace energy, right? Where she and the only other girl with balls who stood up to her was essentially very masculine, energy, with very masculine behavior. And listen, I just found this video and I thought, wow, like, well, this would never happen. Like, I'm not even used to that anymore. But I remember, and the fact that I don't have to be around this is a wonderful life. So let me give one more plug to those of you guys who are still have hopes of having a better life, not feeling like a second-class citizen, and still being able to meet a girl who would be a wonderful traditional wife, and if to have children with, and have an amazing life. So here we go. If you want to ditch modern women and move abroad for more traditional relationships, go to themillionmanproject.com, take my most comprehensive course, and change your. And absolutely, my life has changed. And my life was great in America. And I think if you watched me before, I've said it many times, my life was not bad at all. And I was still very good with women. I've had amazing relationships, long term, short term. Sex was not a problem, but man, sex is not a problem here. A whole new level of this not being a problem and not having to deal with all kinds of shit just to get it. So check it out. If you have any questions, I also do consulting. If you're thinking about coming here, if you're already here and you need an actual guide to get you through your first either the last few months in America and the first couple of months here, this is where most guys go wrong. This is where they fuck up their lives before they even start here. Like the guy who I met yesterday, I guarantee you that his relationship is just fucking shit. I guarantee you that she is taking money away from him, giving him absolutely nothing in return. He has to take her shit. It is awful if you're a fly on the wall in their bedroom and he doesn't know any better. I bet I was like the first guy to tell him, like, dude, this is not cool. You shouldn't be doing that. That is not a good girl here. You have some good girls to date here, and you picked the worst one. I think he understood me because my buddy next to me, I was like, dude, was I too polite about it? Because I was essentially telling him that he's a fucking idiot and he picked one of the worst women to date here because he doesn't know shit yet, and then she will ruin his life, right? And he's like, no, I think you were pretty clear about that. I was like, wow. And he just, yeah. But he did reach out to me today, so I'm hoping maybe I can red pill him and actually make his life better, because that's really essentially the goal of this channel. So, all right, guys. Tomorrow we'll get back to talking about dating, red pill and so forth. I know this was a little bit kind of, it's not really off topic. This is more men's rights and men being second class citizens type of topic. But I want to make more videos about that. So there you go. If you guys know what happened to this girl, maybe she did lose her job afterwards, which, would have been nice, but I doubt it. Let me know and maybe I'll do an update. Also, check out the video that I posted last night, my take about the Coldplay Kiss Cam couple, which everyone's talking about. So check that out. I think that video is a couple of minutes long. Other than that, see you guys tomorrow. Peace.